Fitz, good man yourself. I was nodding off. It's about the only shagging thing you can do in this kip. Have you a chair?
Game ball.
Right. Give us a heave up in the belly. That's it. It's not till you're without your pins that you realise all the things you use them for. Thanks.
I brought you the paper and a bit of tobacco.
I'm the old fellow.
So, how are you?
They're sending me home.
You're cutting?
Next week.
Well, at long last. I'm delighted. That's great news.
Is it?
Certainly it is. You won't know yourself. The sun is splitting the trees. You'll be...
Back on me feet in no time.
Ah, Barney.
So maybe the missus can take me for a walk in a box cart, huh? Oh, next week is horse show week. She can shove me as far as Ball's Bridge.
Well, if you're going to carry on the like of that, I may as well be off and leave you to it.
Oh, aye. And you're the lad that can walk out of here, aren't you? No problem. Oh, thanks, Fitz, for not putting up with me. Just had a bit of a bellyache now and again. A bit of a help. The old safety valve, huh?
I know.
So, tell us your news. And I filled the pipe for us, will you, and coming.
Well, there's plenty of news, right enough. The tram men are being called into a meeting. They've been offered a shilling a week rise on condition that they refuse to come out if Jim Larkin calls them.
Well, the whore's ghosts.
You see, what's happened is the employers are getting organised at last. Now, there's a lesson they've learned from Jim Larkin.
Much good may it do them.
Yeah. But I think this time it's going to be do or die, no matter whose side you're with. The tram company have sacked the men in the parcels office because they paid their union dues to Larkin. The other tram men have come out in sympathy. You know what that means?
Do I not, be God? It'll spread like typhoid.
A general strike.
High time, high bloody time too we had it out with them. Kill or cure. I knew Jim Larkin when we had bugger all. We started the union in a room in Townsend Street and 2 candles shoved into bottles was all the light we could afford. And now, a fortnight from today, we're going to bring the whole city to a standstill. That's progress for you. Only wish I was there in the front line.
You did more than your share, Barney.
I fought when I could. But never no more.
Would you give over? You're not done for yet.
I am, you know.
Go away, sir. Go away at once. Dirty yelling. Father O'Connor not here yet? Well, he'd better look sharp or we'll miss the jumping. His clothes gives him no excuse whatever for being unpunctual. After all, if punctuality is the politeness of princes, the least... What on earth are you looking at?
That little girl.
She's playing at being a mother. The instinct is there, even at that age. Don't you find that fascinating?
Yearling, you are becoming distinctly odd. Florence and I sometimes worry about you.
She reminds me of that old street rhyme. Down by the river where the green grass grows, where Mary Murphy washes her clothes, she sang... and she sang, and she sang so sweet, and she called to her sweetheart up the street. Sweetheart, sweetheart, will you marry me? Yes, love, yes, at 3:30.
That's right. Damned odd.
Well, it is nice to see Mary Murphy at last. I wonder will I ever meet her sweetheart.
There he is now.
I beg your pardon.
I mean Father O'Connor, and high time too.
Ah, gentlemen, I'm late. My profound apologies. I thought I should never get here. Dear me, I'm quite out of breath.
Have you been running?
Walking. All the way from St. Bridget's. I couldn't find a hackney anywhere. Everything hireable's been snapped up.
Including the trams?
Trams? There aren't any trams.
What?
Of course. I knew there was something different about the streets, and fool that I was, I couldn't put my finger on it.
There must be trams, damn it. It's horse show week.
Larkin has stopped them running.
So he carried out his threat then?
Yes.
Oh, it's anarchy, of course. I foretold it years ago. Out to the devil with Larkin. Will you both come along before we miss the jumping?
Well, at least I may not have to walk home this evening. A policeman said there might be a partial service later in the day.
Made up of scab labor, do you mean?
Really, my friend, sometimes your choice of expression. Made up, I prefer to say, of men who have remained loyal to their employers.
Will you both come on?
Call it what you will. If I were you, I would walk home.
Why?
It is the kind of situation where tempers are likely to run high. I do counsel you most strongly not to become involved.
Stay there, then. I need to see the jumping.
Look, I know you mean well, Yearling. But it's not a question of walking home or not walking home. As a priest, I have a duty to condemn lawlessness by my actions no less than by my words. And what is more, I don't intend to be intimidated by a gang of common ruffians.
Assault on clergyman. Sacrilegious incident at Ring's End. The most disturbing aspect of the affair was the unprovoked attack upon the Reverend Vincent O'Connor, CC, who was a passenger on the tramcar in question. There's a whole screed of it.
Yes, well, I'm rather glad. Not for myself, you understand, and the last thing I want is notoriety.
Aye, well, whether you want it or not, you've got your share of it. It says the tram was later hacked to pieces where it stood.
Yes. No, I'd, a few bruises, scratch, it's nothing. No, what really is important is the insult to one of God's servants. That's what exposes this socialism for what it is.
Oh. Well, and how's our wounded body this morning?
Good morning, Father. Thank you. I'm feeling quite well.
Yes, that's Omnibus Spiritus Saint. Benedict Domine nos hec tua dona No, Christian.
I was telling Father O'Sullivan that my physical injuries are unimportant.
Yes, exactly.
So what is important
Oh,
is...
no, they're just a pack of crow thumpers, that's all they are. Stolen in a teacup. And there's the editors of the Irish Catholic and the Messenger. Daggers drawn, both wanting exclusive details. Straight from the horse's mouth. That's you, isn't it? Thank you, Mary.
Well,
Yes, well, I told the pair of them to keep their scandal-mongering noses out of my parish. Oh, just a pair of pulpit thumpers. That's all they are.
Yes, well, I certainly bear no malice towards my attackers, of course.
No, I should hope not, indeed. And, if I may say so, I think it was extremely unwise of you to board that tram in the first place.
I had to get home.
Oh, yes, I dare say. Well, why don't you try Shanks's mare the next time? Or do you pick her harm?
Can I take a squint at this?
I'll
take it upstairs.
Good. I know, I think the whole world's going mad.
There's your ones.
There you are. You're off the 12 o'clock, so.
I am.
Poor cathedral as usual, I suppose.
Oh, yeah. Along with the quality.
Well, in that case, I'll treat myself to the pleasure of your company.
Oh, you're easily treated. Hey, I thought your mass was the short 10. 2 masses into one day. Because you'll either end up a saint or be horrified.
I'm not going to 2 mass. I'm off to Sackville Street to see if Larkin puts in an appearance. Larkin set fire to the magistrate's order forbidding the meeting. And now there's a warrant there for his arrest. I hear tell half the bobbies in Dublin will be there.
Oh, well, if that Larkin won't. Not unless he comes down in a balloon.
You should come after Mass. For the sport of it.
Oh, nice sport, I'm sure. And me with the wonky leg. If a massacre starts, you can make a decent run for it. But your poor old rashers will be nobbled from the commencement.
Sure, what call would there be for a massacre? No, it's highly improbable.
Well, you can go with me full blessing and nihil obstat. But the minute benediction is over, it's me for home be the back lanes.
Get back, will you? Come on, back. There's going to be no meeting.
Balloon is right.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, excuse me, mister. I was just thinking out loud.
Balloon, you said?
Well, a friend of mine made the remark that the only way Mr. Larkin could get here would be to come down in a balloon. I'm beginning to think he was right.
Indeed, yes. I never suspected there were so many policemen in all of Dublin. To get round this lot, even Mr. Houdini would have his work cut out.
I don't think I know him.
The escapologist.
Ah.
125. Yes. Well, I think Mr. Larkin has wasted quite enough of my time. I've certainly no intention of missing luncheon because of him. Good day.
Oh, good day to you, mister.
There you are now, sir. Take your time, miss. I'll wait for you.
Stand back there. Get back. Stand back.
This way, sir.
Make way. Stand back. Hold it. Hold on, then.
Come on. Come back. Oh, how are you, Aloysius?
Oh, the bell, Hubert. Fresh and well, you're looking.
Stop pushing with you. Come on, move along.
I'll tell you something for no charge. There's something bloody peculiar going on here. Do you know who that is in the cab? The Countess Markievicz, that's who.
down, fella. Up at the window.
Oh, good God, there's my passenger. Sit down, fella.
3 cheers for Jim Larkin!
To anyone who's listening, that my time is mightily proscribed. I want to make you discontent. Better now, here come the little boys in blue. Have no fear. I'll be back. What can they do? Kill me? And there are thousands to come after me.
Good day, Father.
What's up? Why aren't you going on shift?
We're locked out, that's why.
Locked out?
For refusing to sign this. It says that if we're a member of Larkin's union, we agree to quit. And if we're not, we promise to stay out of it.
So Mulhall was right then.
What?
Like typhoid, he said. It spread like typhoid.
His job's safe anyway. He won't be stuck.
The office staff will be here in an hour or so. Now, you get them started, but keep an eye on them. Hand pushing is one thing, but when it comes to managing a furnace, you might as well be looking into a bloody push.
You're going to need more than office staff, George.
Oh, we'll find them.
Casual labour.
What else?
God, there'll be trouble.
The police will give us protection. Look, Fitz, we can't let the bloody place be torn apart. That wouldn't be in anyone's interest. Now, when the office staff come in, warn them about taking down the heat slowly over 2 or 3 days to be safe.
I'll get them started, George. And then I'm off.
Then you're what?
I'm not going to sign that paper, George.
You bloody fool. Do you know what you're doing?
Yes.
I wonder. Now, strikes have to end sometime. And when this one does, maybe they'll show some mercy to the others. But not to you. Not to our foreman. You quit now and you'll never come in that gate again.
Maybe.
There's no maybe about it.
Look at George, it's victimisation. People who were never in the union and never intended to be in it are now being locked out because they won't be bullied into signing a piece of paper promising never to join it.
They'll get their jobs back someday. You won't.
Well, I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
You'll cross nothing. You leave here now and you'll have burnt your bloody bridges.
Like I say, George, I'll get them started. They'll pick it up in an hour or so.
Fitz, I was wrong. You're not a fool. You're a raving bloody lunatic.
Ah, he's himself home to you.
Mrs. Hennessy.
Keeping bankers' hours, I see. Well, thanks for the lend, ma'am. You'll have it all back when the tide turns. It's going to be comfortable. Why they're left that way.
What's up with that one?
She says the police are going into people's houses and smashing up their belongings.
So they are.
Why?
Why do you think? To show others what happens to people who go on strike. But they won't get into this house. For this evening all, there's going to be a chain put in that door.
What do we want a chain for? You're not. So what had you home at this hour?
It's a lockout. Anyone who sides with Larkin.
I thought you were going to resign from the union when they made you foreman.
I know. But then Barneymull Hall had his accident and all. That was terrible enough without me adding to it. He gave his whole life to the union and I felt like a renegade. Today I couldn't stay in and draw wages on a Saturday while the others were locked out, now could I?
Are you asking me to tell you were right? How long will it last?
I don't know. This time the employers are organised. They're out to smash the union. One or the other is going to have to give way. It's been threatening for years and now it's finally come. But it mightn't be so bad. The strike pay is going to be 10 shillings a week. To begin with, anyway.
To begin with? Oh, God, just as we were getting straight. I'd hope next year to have a proper house away from this.
But maybe we still can. I thought that if things got really bad, now I'm not saying that they will, we could send the children down the country to your father for a bit. So maybe you could go with him yourself. That'd be even better. When you think about it, we've a lot to be thankful for. We've a good deal more than most.
Yeah. We've more to sell and pawn.
The bar of the revolution. How are you, Rashers? How's Tricks?
Oh, Tricks, how are you? All bloody aces and juices. No bloody use to anyone.
You look a bit washed out. You feel bad?
I'll get the odd dart in the old chest. It's no matter. I suppose you wouldn't have a copper to spare, same as the rest of them?
I haven't a tosser.
Oh, you needn't tell me. It's hard times when the dustbins is empty. I can't even find enough scraps to feed the dog. Should the whole poxy city is starving bad graduate. Look at them.
Why don't you play your tin whistle?
Why don't I? Because when people is hungry, they lose their ear for music. I could play from now till Christmas.
What are you doing here? Get out of my street. We'll go to Donegan Street. Do I interfere with his business? Why should he interfere with mine? Go along, get off. Do I steal his customers? Ay. Shh.
Rashers, do you ever think of going in for advertising?
Never what?
Wait here.
Police. Fetch a policeman. I'll tell Donegan. Don't interfere with a man's livelihood. Go away.
Having trouble, Mr. Silverwater?
Oh, it's you. Listen, I am Donegan's friend. For 15 years, on Saturday night we play poker. I lose my money to him. What is my thanks? He takes the bread from my mouth.
Still, times are bad.
Bad? What's his times are bad? If they're bad for him, they're bad for me.
What you ought to do, Mr. Silverwater, is to fight fire with fire.
Fire? Oh, now he's burning down my shop, huh?
No, I mean... Well, it's not for me to...
Oh, go on, I'm listening. You're a sensible boy. So tell me, huh?
I'll do better than tell you. I'll show you. There. There's your answer.
That's the way it is, I suppose, Barney.
No. Just a cup in your hand, Father.
Mrs. Mulhall, this is trouble.
What trouble? Sure, all we have is the bit of comfort. I'll leave you to it. And don't you go shaking your ash all over the quilt.
Biscuits, no less. You got that woman a dire have style.
Isn't it strange? I haven't had a biscuit this long time. And they're an item I'm very partial to. I must tell the housekeeper.
What you need, Father, is a wife.
And what about if I got a cranky one?
Well, you could offer it up.
You have a heavy cross to carry, Barney.
We'll manage.
I don't need telling. Let me ask you a private question. Do you feel bitterness?
Well, if you mean towards God. No, I don't.
And what about the rest of us?
Your sort, you mean? Well, how would you think I'd feel? Because I never done reading us out the altar.
Some of us. Not all. And you yourself, Barney, you're the last man who'd want us marching with you in a procession.
All I'm saying is for the clergy to keep out of what's happening.
And what I'm saying is, if you've an opinion, stick to it. There's no harm in opposing any man, or priest either. The real harm comes when hatred creeps into it. That's the real killer. You start out with bitterness, and it turns into hate.
Love your enemies, what?
No, that's too hard a commandment. The easy thing is, don't have any. Turn them into opponents. Oh, why do I go on? Well, I'd better be off. I'll see you soon again. Keep well in the meantime. Well, he's in great form, Mrs. Mulhall. Made out of iron, he must be. We had a great...
I won't keep him, Father.
I'm sorry,
All that laughing and joking he goes on with, that's only letting on. I can see the change in him. You can't. The heart's gone dead inside of him. He's going to die of me.
Now, perhaps this will serve to remind you that there are greater dangers to the immortal soul than all those socialists you keep on seeing around every street corner. And do you know what that danger is, Father O'Connor? Huh? Do you know what that danger is?
With your permission, Father Giffley.
No, you have not my permission. The greatest danger of all is a heavy-handed pastor. A heavy-handed...
Father Giffley, you'll hurt yourself.
I was just giving this young curate of mine a lesson in Christianity. That it does exist beyond the borders of his beloved Kingstown. He had the audacity to...
Father Giffley, are you hurt?
I fell, John.
Now, let me help you.
No.
Can you stand?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm all right. No, just a little bit shaken, that's all.
You could have been killed.
The scriptures tell us that the just man fell 7 times a day. And as far as I know, he never touched a drop. Now, I shall go and lie down.
Do you hear? Well, why am I treated like this?
He's unwell.
He's nothing of the sort. You know it, and you're content to remain silent.
His mind is better than mine. I'm content to respect his judgment.
His judgment? You mean that of his friend John Barleycorn? For heaven's sake, the man is half insane. You won't admit it.
Yes, Father O'Connor. And if I am insane, I'm in the best of good company.
none but the lonely heart can know my sadness, alone and parted, far from joy and gladness. But the lonely heart can know my sadness.
Well done, I must say.
The woman they've just brought out makes 7 dead. I'm afraid there may be more. There are still 2 children not accounted for.
The buildings were perfectly safe. I have the inspector's report. It's the trains, you know, the railway. I hold them fully to blame.
Ralph, you should go home.
I wrote to them. I said I will not be held responsible.
Mrs. Bradshaw will need you. There is nothing you can do here. Yeah, please. Please, come on. Before you go, a word. I know how abstemious you are, but will you take a friend's advice and a glass of brandy? Believe me, it will help.
Thank you. You're very kind.
And for what it's worth, you have my admiration.
Do you really think it was the railway?
Oh, I'm quite certain that it wasn't. It was neglect and old age.
But those buildings were passed as safe.
They were condemned years ago and then reprieved because Ralph wanted to go on collecting his rents and happened to know the right people.
I refuse to believe it.
Oh, he has influence. I can vouch for that. Though I doubt if it will be strong enough to prevent an inquiry. I would say that he and certain other gentlemen will be in serious trouble.
Terrible.
My friend, a young man called Eugene Salmon rescued several people from the blaze tonight and was himself killed as he carried his young sister to safety. Don't you think that it is he and people like him who have most claim to our pity?
Yes, yes. You're right. Good night.
Step along and see a real live lion stuffed with straw. Ate and boiled potatoes raw. Have you seen a blanket to pawn or sell? Air a table or air a chair. Best prices in town for pairs of ornamental pieces. Come one, come all to the Aiden's Oil. Bring a pledge with all agility for keenest prices and stability. Is the arse of your trousers on fire or what?
I'm unable to stop. I have the offer of employment.
Because wonders will never cease. Doing what if it's not impudent to inquire?
Night watchman, no exertion necessary. I'm on the pig's back at last.
Mind out now you don't fall off of us. Come one, come all, to the Aiden's Oil Pawnbroking Establishment.
Hennessy? Do I know him?
The toucher Hennessy that lives upstairs.
But where's the hard hat? I know I have it. What about him?
I hear tell he's doing a scab job. Night watchman at Crampton's.
Is he be good?
Huh? I want you to lay him off.
You leave it to me. Won't be the first scab that fell in the liffey on his way to work.
Hey, Pat, go easy.
What's up with you?
Hennessy's no scab. He's a harmless poor bugger with a family to feed.
He's replacing a watchman. And what's more, he's helping the police by taking a job off their hands. Strikebreakers have to be taught a lesson.
One of these days, you'll be had up for murder.
Whose side are you on? There's a lot of ways you can murder people. One of them is to starve them.
Don't upset yourself, Barney. Pat and me'll have a word with Hennessy. He's an easygoing man. He won't want trouble. Huh? I think he's done for.
Barney. Yeah. How do they manage?
They don't. All they've got is young Willie's strike pay.
Christ help them.
Look, about Hennessy. I don't want him hurt. We'll talk to him. You go upstairs and bring him down to my place. If we do it up there, that wifey is like the pair of us.
Will he be in?
If he works nights, he ought to be. And Pat, go easy with him.
Good morning to you, Mrs. Fitzpatrick, ma'am. I hope I find you and yours in the best of good health. Isn't this a cool class of a morning?
You don't know how cool it's going to be.
Don't bully him. There's no need for it. There's one or two questions I'd like to ask you, Mr. Hennessy.
Oh, certainly. Ask away, gentlemen.
I hear you're working as a watchman at Crampton's.
I am, yes, that's true.
How did you get the job?
Influence. Well, that's to say, I know the foreman of an old estate.
What are they paying you?
10 shillings a week.
The scab rate for a scab job.
You shut up. The man has been honest. You know Crampton's men are locked out.
There was no picket. I thought there was no harm in it if the place wasn't picketed.
Did you know? Well, I'd save you a journey. There'll be a picket on Crampton's by this evening.
Whatever you say, gentlemen.
Look, when is your payday?
On Fridays.
Right. Carry on till then. Then quit. If you promise to do that, no one will interfere with you. Do you understand me?
Yes. I mean, I promise.
And remember, we're being soft with you. Too bloody soft.
That's all I wanted to say. Draw your wages on Friday, and then that's it.
Thank you, gentlemen. Much obliged to you. Good day to you, ma'am. Delighted to have been of assistance.
A right pair of heroes. Taking the bread from the mouths of children. They ought to give you medals, both of you.
That's women for you. Lily's the same. Tell him you're on strike for a principal.
Get out. Get the hell out of here.
Oh, but this is monstrous. Huh?
It says here that a scheme is afoot to send the children of the strikers to England.
I'm sorry, I don't...
Listen, Tristan. In an endeavour to alleviate the increasing hardship caused by the industrial dispute presently in its 4th month, it is proposed that children from the worst afflicted areas shall be sent to working-class homes in England.
So, it's come to this. Whole families to be torn apart.
But they must have taken leave of their senses.
Still, if at least the children are to be spared the full brunt of the misery.
Spared, did you? Father O'Sullivan, I'm not to believe my ears. These children are to be sent to England.
Yes.
Yes, to homes which are certain to be of the Protestant faith.
Ah.
Oh, yes. They're to be spared hunger. Their bodies will be fed, but at the expense of their souls.
But if the arrangement is only temporary, until the worst of the dispute is over...
No. This scheme must be stopped at all costs. With force, if need be.
Well, which of you fathers is on duty tonight?
I believe I am.
Oh. My message has just been handed in. Burnham Hall, Chandler's Court.
Mulhall?
Yes. You'd better go to him at once.
Please. I'd like to attend him. I know the poor man well, if you'll allow me.
Oh, yes, certainly, if you wish.
I was just in time. Your father was a fine man, Willie. If it's a comfort to you, everything was done that should be done. Will you stay with her a little while and comfort her?
Of course.
Willie, I want you to go down to Townsend Street and see Mrs. Henderson. Tell her to come and see to the laying out. We'll have to have everything arranged and decent for the neighbours to see him. Don't cry, son. Plenty of time for that later. Go on now. We reared a good son, Barney. He's a credit to us. Oh, Barney, my poor Barney. This is what they've done to you. Them and the machines. Oh, God. Oh, sweet living God, what am I going to bury you with? You'll have to go into a pauper's grave. Oh, Barney, Barney, forgive me.
These are all we have. Maybe some of the other neighbours will have a few more.
Leave it to me. I get a few on tick. They won't refuse me, seeing as it's for a wake.
There's something else.
Well?
They've no money for the funeral. If they don't get help, he'll have to be buried down the parish.
What about insurance?
They had to stop paying it. There's no use asking any of the other neighbours for help. I'm sure they haven't enough for themselves.
So what's to be done?
We could help.
How?
There's a few pounds I put aside for the children's train fare in case they had to go to the country to my father.
You'd give them that?
If you thought it would be proper.
Yes. Yes, it would be.
Sure. If we're in trouble, if things get really bad, I mean, we can always ask Mrs. Bradshaw. I know you don't like me asking her, but all I'm saying is if we have to.
Spare a copper. Ah, lady, you won't refuse me the bit of help. God and his blessed mother will remember it to you. A few pence. Your husband's out of
Hold on there, you. What's your name?
Ah, mister.
Well,
Hennessy.
where do you live?
Chandler's Court. Well, you can ask anyone about me. Ask any of me good neighbours. None of mine ever took a penny piece that didn't belong to them.
Your husband's on strike, is that the way it is?
Did he is not. My husband had a lovely job. Set up for life he was. Until they came and blackguarded him out of it.
Did they know? And who might they be?
Bad neighbour, sir.
His name?
A man by the name of Fitzpatrick. And a buddy of his.
And where might he be found?
Same house as myself, sir, number 3.
Right. Get away home with you now.
Yes. You wanted to see me?
I'm in need of a bit of help, Father. You won't turn me away, aren't you? No, sure you won't.
I'm sorry, but you must realise it would be wrong of me to make distinctions.
Father!
I sympathise, but I cannot take from one and give to another.
What's become of me? I have a house full of hungry children. And a husband that was thrown out of his job by bully boys from the union.
What do you mean he was thrown out? Do you mean he was intimidated? By whom?
By Bob Fitzpatrick, Father. And another man.
Do you mean Fitzpatrick of Chandler's Court?
Not the same, Father.
No. I know Fitzpatrick. No. He seems to me to be a respectable man.
Respectable, how are you? Should the pair of them at buy and sell you? Him with his union and threatening honest people. And her with her airs and graces.
Yes.
And talk about sending her children off as if they were too good to mix.
Wait a minute, what do you mean? Sending her children off? Where is she sending her children? To England?
There you have me, Father. She's going on about sending them out of Dublin if things get bad.
Sending them out of Dublin, I see, right. And your name is Mrs. What?
Hennessy,
Mrs.
Father.
Hennessy. Right, very well, Miss Hennessy. Come with me. I might be able to help you.
Excuse me. The house is all boarded up. Mr. and Mrs. Bradshaw, where are they?
Well, you may ask, ma'am. Went abroad, the pair of them.
Abroad?
Fording parts, ma'am. Left while the going was good. And leave it to the quality. Their sort never stays to pay the piper. Too bloody cute. Good day to you, ma'am.